So one of my clients in New York, one of my coaching clients, she said something to me, and I said, this is a great way to describe it. And she said, you know what, Joe, I've been doing this with you for a while, obviously before that. And she said, I feel like, and she's living in New York City, she said, I feel like I'm walking around, and I'm 10 feet tall, and everybody else is 5 feet tall, and every once in a while, way down in the distance, I see another 10-foot tall person. Isn't that how you feel sometimes? So that's kind of how this is, and this is how this has been for a lot of us who've been doing this work for a long time and doing spiritual work, and I'm doing this over 20 years, working on myself, and then teaching it for a long time, that you feel like, wow, there's like, I really can't talk to anybody. And I really can't have this conversation with anybody. And then you try to like share this with family members or friends, and they kind of look at you like you're really weird. Anybody get that going on?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that are going to happen that we want to focus on, because I'll tell you, when I did this work, when I first started doing it a long time ago, I really have to tell you, and I'm from New York, can you tell?
No.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm from New York. But when I first started learning all this stuff, I thought it was a little woo-woo for me. And what I mean is, it was interesting, but being a New Yorker and being a person in business and a person who's in sales, and I teach actually, I have a book out called Spiritual Selling. I teach people how to use these principles in sales and business. But I was always like, okay, I need practical application. You can't just tell me to walk around and feel my feelings and everything's going to be fine. I can't do that. And I think for us, it's nice to say all this stuff, but I need practical application. Anybody feel like that? Don't you want to have you always say, okay, I wonder, how do I do it? How do I live? How do I apply this? How do I function? How do I deal with all those annoying people that are in my life on a daily basis? How do I deal with the guy who cut me off in the parking lot? How do I deal with the person who stole my spot in line? How do I deal with the boss who didn't give me the raise? How do I deal with all this stuff? And how do I function going forward? How do I integrate myself into this new energy? And now, the bottom line is, as we go through the transition, which is already happening, in a higher vibration, you will be able to transition a lot easier. If you try to stay in the low energy and keep everything the way it was, you're going to have a hard time. So that's basically what we want to do. We want to say, okay, we know there's going to be a transition. We know there's going to be upset. We know this. We know this. The question is, how do we gracefully move through it, as opposed to getting stuck in the old stuff that we're doing. We don't want to get stuck in the old. And that's what is critical for you going forward, which is going to be, I need to elevate myself out of living in a third dimensional world. So that means you have to transcend this dimension. That sounds weird, right? What does that mean? A little woo-woo, right, Amber? Okay, let me... So what that means is this. I'm living in third dimension, but I have to be playing in a higher dimension. So it's almost like I look at my day now like I'm watching myself from there. But I'm not in here. And what I mean by that is, I'm not going to get caught up in all the nonsense. That's really what I'm talking about. And how easy is it to get caught up in the nonsense? Let me tell you what so-and-so did, let me tell you what's going on, let me tell you what's happening here, let me tell you what's going on here. So what I want to do is I want to say, I want to have enjoyed a third dimensional world, but I also want to understand I can't get caught up in all the negative part of it, because that's going to lower your energy, and that's going to bring you into a bad space. So the idea is, how do I do that? And we're going to talk about how to do that tonight. So